All right, today we're going to get inside the head of a killer by looking at one of the most profound psychological thrillers ever written. I mean, what really happens when someone decides they're above the law, that they're above morality itself?
It's one of those questions that just haunts you, right? Because it feels so strange, but at the same time, kind of uncomfortably close. What's that tipping point? What pushes a regular person to do the absolute unthinkable? And then, after it's done, what's going on inside their head? I mean, what does the world look like from inside the mind of a murderer?
Well, believe it or not, over 150 years ago, a Russian novel took on these exact heavy questions. We're talking about the legendary Fyodor Dostoevsky and his masterpiece, Crime and Punishment. So let's meet our main guy. He's a young student. His name is Raskolnikov. And to put it mildly, this is a man standing right on the edge of a cliff.
So, who is this Raskolnikov? Well, for starters, he's a former law student, super smart, but absolutely flat out broke. He's literally trapped in poverty, can't even afford to continue his studies, and what makes it worse is that he's just tormented by the sacrifices his mom and sister are making for him. You can just feel the pressure building. It's immense. And the world around him? Yeah, that's not helping things. We're in 19th century St. Petersburg, but don't go picturing grand, beautiful palaces. That's not his part of town.
Nope. Raskolnikov's world is the city's grimy underbelly. It's this claustrophobic maze of, dank taverns, dilapidated apartments, just this feeling of overwhelming despair. Seriously, Dostoevsky paints a picture so bleak and oppressive, you can almost feel the grime. So he's just stewing in this desperate environment, and his mind cooks up a plan, and it's an absolutely unthinkable one. He's going to murder an elderly pawnbroker and rob her. Okay, but why? Why would a character, and for that matter, an author like Dostoevsky, even go down such a dark path? Well, to really get it, you have to look at the author's own life. And trust me, it was forged in some of the harshest conditions imaginable. So get this, as a young writer, Dostoevsky gets arrested just for talking about some banned radical ideas. His sentence? Death. I mean, can you imagine? He was literally lined up in front of a firing squad waiting to die. And then, at the very last second, it's revealed to be a pardon, a cruel, twisted mock execution set up by the Tsar. After that, he was sent away to a brutal Siberian labor camp for 4 long years. I mean, an experience like that, it completely shattered him. It just destroyed any faith he had in these big, grand ideas about how to fix society. Instead, it forced his focus inward, to the really messy, contradictory spiritual battles that rage inside every human soul. And that brings us right back to Raskolnikov. See, for him, this isn't just a robbery. Oh no. He has a whole intellectual theory, a chilling rationalization to justify what he's about to do. Okay, so here's the core of his idea. Raskolnikov basically believes there are 2 types of people, and he is an extraordinary man. He's convinced himself that his superior intelligence gives him the right to step over moral lines, even commit murder, if it's for what he sees as a greater good. So you have this huge conflict, right? On the one hand, you have his rationale, which is just cold and calculating. He's basically arguing that killing this one exploitative person and using her money for his own career would be a net benefit to society. It's like a really twisted take on ideas like egoism and utilitarianism that we're floating around. But then, there's the reality. And the reality is absolutely devastating. In trying to place himself above morality, he completely cuts himself off from his own humanity.
And this right here is where we get to the real genius of the novel. I mean, the title is Crime and Punishment, right? But the punishment, well, it's not at all what you'd expect.
Just think about it for a second. We know who the killer is right from the get-go. The crime itself happens in the first part of the book. So you might be asking, where's the mystery? Where's the suspense? Well, it's because the real story, the real psychological thriller, is the punishment that follows, the one that consumes him from the inside out. See, the real punishment isn't legal. It's psychological. It's not a jail cell. It's a prison he builds inside his own mind. He's just gripped by this inner torment, this debilitating paranoia. He's totally alienated from his friends, his family. The novel shows us so brilliantly that the true sentence is this agonizing battle for his own soul, and that tiny, glimmering possibility of redemption. So in the end, this book is so much more than just a murder mystery. It's this deep,
gripping account of the incredible psychological and social turmoil that just one terrible act can unleash not just on one person, but on everyone in their orbit. And that leaves us with one last kind of haunting question, doesn't it? Raskolnikov acted on his dangerous idea. But let's be honest, we all have strange, maybe even dark thoughts from time to time. So, what truly separates a dangerous idea from a criminal act? What is that fragile line? And how close are any of us to actually crossing it?